Hey guys, my name is Sean and I'm driving a Tesla Model Y. This is the all-wheel drive version and this is my first impression. And so I'm in Sacramento. This is out of the Rockland, California Tesla Center. And so I just got in the car. They checked me in. I got in the car and I'm doing the test drive on my own. A couple things I noticed right away. It's all the same parts as far as the seats and stuff, but it feels different. Like I feel there's a much bigger gap right here compared to my Model 3. The space from here down is a lot more, just because they raised everything up. I don't know. I feel like the seat might be a little more comfortable. I don't know why. It might be the same seats. I'm not 100% sure. This to me seems a little closer to me, and it's down a little lower, or I'm a little higher. What else is different here? The car, I think torquiness of the car, it feels like in the higher range from 30 to 60. There's a lot more punch there. From 0 to 30, not as much. I think on my performance Model 3, I felt torque from like 25 to 45. This, I feel like the torque range might be a little different. It just feels like from 50 to 60 it's a little stronger there, or they put most of the power there. So we're just going to go down a couple exits here, and then I'm going to go back and we'll do a loop around the car. So one thing I noticed right away, I'm looking at the rear view mirror, and because there's a big window on the back, but because it's at a slant, the window looks very tiny. And so that's something I noticed right away. You know, the glass roof on top, a lot of people talk about that, but I don't know if that's such a big deal to me. I mean, it feels like a Model 3. Maybe because I'm not sitting in the back. Everything else feels very normal. You do sit a little higher. I'm not going to give the confirmation. I'm going to get out. So again, this is a test drive from Rockland, California. They do have a few Model 3s in stock, and they just open up for test drives. And so the guy said they just open up this week, and so I accidentally called him on Monday just because I sold my Model 3 over the weekend. I accidentally called them and say, hey, do you guys have any Model Ys in stock? And they said yes. And so my appointment is today, and I'm here today. It's Wednesday. I think I've gone far enough for this test drive, so I'm just gonna Tesla Rockland. Let's go back. Coming from the performance model, I just stepped on the gas to get around that car. I mean, this feels good enough. A lot of times you don't need all that power in that performance model. I think this feels good enough. I was able to get around that car with no issues at all. I think for most people, this all-wheel drive dual motor is going to work just fine. So I took the car down for a couple miles, and then I just did a exit and then came right back, and I parked in a parking lot right next to the Tesla Center just so I can do a little quick walk around the car. This is the gray model with the upgraded wheels, and this is the dual motor version. And the reason why I'm looking at a Model Y, or I got myself on the list for a Model Y, is because I have two young kids and they both need car seats. And so I couldn't drive. I've never had both the car seats in my Model 3. I've had one car seat, but never both car seats and the family on a trip. And so basically this Model Y is going to replace that. I can have two kids and my wife and the stroller and stuff like that in the back, and we'll be totally fine. Before this, we had a RAV4, and the lease ended on that one. And so right now we're just driving an old van until we can get this Model Y in stock. I like the automated doors. When you click on the lever, the seats come down, and then you have to push them up manually. The doors on this Model Y is exactly the same as the Model 3. This lever puts the seat back and forth a little bit. And when I sat in this back seat here, I felt like the front seat was really high. Like I couldn't see over the front seat. So to me, I was like, oh, it's on razors. It's really high. the lights and a little clip for your clothes if you have any, or a suit or whatever you might use it for. But the seats feel exactly the same. The gap between the top of the glass and the headrest is roughly about 5 inches or so. Everything else in the back seat here looks normal to me, with the exception of the USB-C charging. In the old one, it's just USB 2. The mirrors here, they felt different or looked different. I think they're taller and not as wide as the Model 3. I didn't measure them or anything like that, but that's what it felt like to me. The gap between the dash and the seat is wider or taller or bigger. The storage area here is a lot deeper just because everything is raised up maybe 4 or 5 inches or so. But my only surprise is that the dual motor is pretty strong and it's pretty close to the performance, and so I don't think it's that big of a difference for day-to-day driving. Here's a picture of the glass, but to me that was the only surprise to me. Everything else was quite normal. Everything else was expected, because I've watched so many videos on it already. But here's my take on it, and hopefully that was helpful for some of you. Thanks for watching. Bye.